I love when one of my videos hits because that way I get to hear from a lot of people about how they're thinking about how to roll trolls and stump Trumpists. And I hear the same messages over and over in three categories. In the beginning, there was a lot of reach out to them, connect, try to understand them, give an inch and they'll give an inch back. I hear less of that these days because that doesn't seem to be working. The other thing you hear is the advantages of debating them or pointing out this or that, the Epstein files, Iran war, whatever is going on in the news. That you need to nail them with facts. You get that version of things still, though less of it, I'd say, than another thing, which is debating doesn't work, and you can't reach out to them and try to connect with them because if you give an inch, they'll take a mile. And so the solution, often presented proudly, is just don't talk to them, ignore them. If we all did that, then it would suck the oxygen out of the room and they'd get over themselves. None of those strategies have worked very well, and I don't blame that on the strategies. I think each of those strategies has its place. They're wonderful tools to have in one's repertoire. The reason that they don't work is because you're dealing with absolutists. An absolutist has only one goal, which is to make sure that nothing works. So I'm not at all surprised that those don't work. And I have been proposing something else. There seems to be a sense that there's a false dichotomy. Either you debate them or you ignore them. Because they're not worth talking to. As I say, that one's often presented with a certain pride, like I wouldn't stoop to talking to these people, they're incorrigible. Yes, they're incorrigible. Yes, don't fight with the pig, you'll just get dirty and the pig likes it, but sometimes you have to fight with the pig, and you will get a little dirty, and the pig will like it for a while, and the question is, can you disappoint them? I'm trying to figure out how to disappoint people who have gone herobotic, people who have gotten addicted to playing hero, robotically. That is, they're not paying any attention to reality or context or any of that. They're just getting off on feeling heroic. And they have mastered the art of rationalizing, moralizing, making up excuses for anything they do or anything that happens. It all proves them right, righteous, and mighty. So, no, you can't debate them, but also I don't think we can ignore them anymore. I mean, how has that worked out for all of us? I understand why we would want to. Plenty of us are conflict averse and therefore out of practice. We're not good at conflict, and so we'd prefer to just win outright. And if we can't win outright and we have to engage with difficult people, we'd rather just not. I don't see that as a badge of honor. I think it shirks our civic duty to do that. So I'm not into that strategy. But I have been pitching this fourth alternative. And so I'll describe it again. You love them to bits about the things you love about them. And you recognize that they've gotten addicted the way any of us could. Try to remember a time when you got addicted to that sense of heroism. It could have been when you fell in love at one point or another. Or it could have been that you found an idea that you really resonated with. Or maybe you joined a cult. Or maybe you feel that fervor when you're in a religious situation. It's a standard thing. Humans do this. If you haven't done it at least once in your life and been sobered out of it, you've missed out on one of the difficult treats of life, which is that it's kind of fun to fall into that herobotic feeling, to feel like you've been granted eternal life. I define that as the romantic impulse in all of us. That is the dream of happily ever after that lives in all of us and cannot be met by reality. So you love these people to bits. You don't pretend you're superior to them because you would never fall like that. You don't deny that you have differences of opinion. That's not the issue. I think you really don't want to debate them. What you want to do is expose that they have gotten herobotic. And, could happen to the best of us, and does. It often happens to the most idealistic among us more readily. Anybody who's a true romantic is in for a whole lot of those falls into that herobotic stupor that is so satisfying in the moment and costly collectively and in the long run. So there's a way, I think, a fourth way. No, you're not just mollycoddling them. You're not just humoring them and pretending that they're right about things, giving an inch so that they'll give an inch back. That's not working with these people. nor are you debating facts with them. Good news for you, because it means you don't have to bone up on all of those facts in order to steel your loins for holy war battle with them. And you're not doing that proud thing where you say, debate or engagement with such people is beneath me. Their egotism is beneath me. No, what you're doing is you're tenderly, realistically, honestly connecting where the connecting is good, and being very blunt and direct about how this is an intervention. You're not grandstanding in your intervention. You're just simply saying, yeah, you got drunk on this. I remember when I got drunk on it too. In fact, it relates to what I call inverse projection, which is where you say, no, I can totally relate to where you are. So you're projecting, but you're doing it by actually talking about yourself. I've been there. I've done that. I know what it's like. Do you remember how I felt about Karen, my girlfriend? Remember how hard it was to get me out of that feeling like I had been granted eternal life? I know that feeling. Do you remember how I got about that spiritual idea? I can relate to what you're doing. So it's still pointing at them and saying, yeah, it's the same thing that I've done. And you're not asserting it. You're not saying you've joined a cult. Because if you assert it, it's open for debate. You're just assuming it. Because it's worth assuming by now, isn't it? I mean, it's kind of obvious. These guys don't give a rat's ass about the causes they pretend to care about so much that it trumps all other considerations. That's clearly what they're doing. It's so obvious. So this fourth way, again, you connect with them tenderly, human to human, and you're blunt about how they fall into the same thing that any of us can fall into any time. That's a fourth alternative. Stop with the false dichotomy. Either you're going to debate facts with them or there's no talking to them. This is a question of how to engage with people there's no talking to. And I'm arguing we have to, because people are the only guardrails we've got left. The Trump movement has dismantled most of the guardrails and is trying very hard to dismantle the election guardrails as well. All we've got left is a chance of waking these people up. And people have also been writing to me and saying, yeah, but it's not changing them. You got to have your expectations set for what you're dealing with. Can you imagine doing an intervention where someone suddenly says, yeah, I see the light, and from now on I won't drink alcohol ever again? That's not how it works. Set your expectations and eyes on the prize. Okay? And again, I'll just mention it briefly. We have this study group that meets every other Sunday. It's meeting this coming Sunday at 9 o'clock in the morning, California time. People from all over the country and the world who get together and try to figure out how to humbly humble humans who will say or do anything to avoid human humility. How to engage with people there's no talking to. It's free. I don't upsell. It's private, meaning I don't record it, so nobody has to see anybody else's name. You don't have to worry about your privacy. Email me if you're at all interested in joining it. And you don't have to show up. We don't take roll or anything like that. It's just people trying to figure out better ways, alternative ways, because we need more in our repertoire. Apparently what we've been doing to prevent fascism from taking over the United States isn't enough. We have to keep on looking. We have to keep on learning. Thanks.